Okay, welcome along. Today we're going to do an extended relief session through our quads and through our femoral line, so from our just above the knee right up to through your hips. Looking to help ourselves with back pain and knee pain. So working on that whole connective line. When we have a really tight line through our hip flexors and quads and femoral chain, we can get a pull down with your hips, which exaggerates a lower back tilt, and we can get some pain from it. So I'm going to try and work through that today. Different ways we can use the point to help that, and hopefully get an improvement in the way that we feel. So before you start, I'd just like you to pop up and do maybe like 5 squats and just see how your knees feel, see how your back feels, the range you can get and how deep into your squat, and get an idea of what you feel, even an arch backwards. So let's jump up and just give us 5 squats. Okay, not that you can see, but 5. Let's get quite deep and just see what you feel. Alright, so 5 squats, and then even if you're on your knees and just leaning back, see what you feel through your back, and if you feel you have any restriction there, that's what we're going to try and take away from today. Okay, so I'm going to grab your point to start with. We're going to start just above our kneecap, right, and slightly towards the inside, which is sort of like a VMO sort of area, quad tendon and VMO. Right, I'm going to start on my right leg. So, on my left leg. I'm going to lie face down, and I want to have the point about 10 centimeters above my kneecap. Right, and I'm putting all my weight down on that, and then flexing up with that heel and hamstring. And you should feel the muscle getting a shearing technique. Okay, so the muscle's pulling over the point. We want to do 6 or 8, maybe 10 full flexors with the hamstring to get that muscle really pulling and shearing through. Once we've got a good amount, we can move. So I'm just going to lift myself up and move down a couple of centimeters, and make sure it is only a couple of centimeters. We want to really work through that whole line. Okay, and we'd start again moving up and down with the heel. As you go down, really just relax it straight, so the muscle sort of goes on a complete lack of tension, and the point can really penetrate, and then get your stretching motion on again. If you find a good bit, and I've got a nice one there, just give it a wiggle up and down. Right, a bit of a massage on that spot. Okay, and let's keep going on there. Now I'm just going to jump up and give you some more direction. So please keep going on that. Go another 3 and then move up a little bit. So the spot we're looking for, that's right in the middle of your thigh coming up. We want to go just on the inside. Alright, so it's just off to the side of the bulky bit, and sort of the one muscle runs here and one muscle runs there, and we're sort of just getting on the inside line of that. Okay, so that's the line we're trying to track over. Okay, let's move up another centimetre or 2. Relaxing down on it, slowly bending that leg up. There's my spot. So we're really going to focus on this area through your quadricep and into your hip flexor today, and take our time to release through the whole thing. We can get some benefit from a simple trigger point and holding on that and working on it for 30 seconds to a minute. There's no doubt about that, and you get some good relief. But if we spend some time like we're going to today in one area, it's really going to help us make a more permanent change to the tension that's going on in that zone. wiggle before we move spots. Alright, little lift. Move my body down so the point goes up a little bit higher. There we go. And I'm back down and I'm back on my flexing action. Remember to make sure you let it relax and sink, penetrate into those muscle fibres, get it deep, and then get your bend. Whilst you may not be doing a lot of jumping if you're a volleyball or athlete at the moment, because of our isolation restriction, you're still probably doing a lot of things like squats and lunges, and that can create additional tension when you're not running it out or jumping it out. Oh yeah, flick it. Alright, let's have a movement again. So I'm about halfway up my quad now. Just make sure you're really taking your time to get this strong release. So various things this can help with. It can help with quad tendonitis, quad tendinopathy, patellar tendonitis, tendinopathy. We can be releasing for your lower back. This can give you more mobility through your hips and pelvis. So there's a number of things that we're helping, right, by hitting this line of tissue, this line of muscle. And the important thing when it comes to releasing our muscle is that it's not just where we're pushing that gives us benefit. Okay, so we might have a sore back because we have this underlying tightness through the front of your hips and down your quads. I certainly do have a lot of tightness. The closer we get to my hips, the more I'm going to feel this. Okay, let's do another movement. Get a new spot. Make sure you do move around a little bit to find that sort of spot between the two muscles. And relaxing down onto it. When you get the spot, you might get some referring. So as I pull up, I can feel that going up into my hip and a little bit down into my knee. Give that a good wiggle. And a little movement again. Let's get a little bit more down. So you might wonder why we take so long to release an area. Got to put it in a bit of perspective. If you go to see a professional clinician, practitioner about a muscle release, and might be a masseur or a physio or osteo or myo or something like that, they're going to spend 15, 20, 30 minutes on one muscle on one side of your body. Maybe more, it might be 30, 40 minutes. But they're going to spend that long working on your body. So just to give you an idea of how much time we can spend on something, and that it's worth doing that. If that's what you pay a professional to do, then you want to try and emulate that dedication to getting a release. I feel like I'm looking forward to getting up and feeling the difference I'm going to have straight away. Keep that movement going. I'm just going to slide up a little bit so I don't go disappearing on Instagram. Okay, let's move again. Moving your body down gets the point higher towards your hips. Find that spot that works for you. Now if you feel as you're getting a bit higher that you're not getting enough pressure, just lean a little bit over to the side. So if we're doing our left side, just lean a little bit to the left side and straight away you'll get a little bit more pressure coming down on this side and you'll get a stronger release. So I'm about 10 centimeters from my hip at the moment. There's a few other ways we can do this. We can do it in a seated position, which we'll do a little bit later. Now let's move down again. But the lying position means you don't have to push, you just let your body weight do all the work, which makes it nice and easy. Make sure you're leaning over if you feel you need some more pressure. And lifting up again. Okay, so I'm about 5 centimeters below my hip bone. So my hip bone's up here. I'm about 5 centimeters below that at the moment. Now, if you're really hardcore and you think, hang on, this isn't strong enough for me, there is a little thing you can do. Well, I do sometimes. You can raise it a little bit higher, right? So please keep going. But if you want to try, you can grab a book. You can pop the point on top of that, and then you come down on top of both. And because it's pointing up a bit higher, it's really going to push quite strongly into that muscle. Right, and when we get up into the hip flexor, which is sort of really thick and fibrous, you might want that extra pressure. If you don't, that's okay. If you feel you're getting enough release, that's totally fine. But that is an option to certainly make it hard. Make sure you keep trying to relax onto it. Rolling onto that side just a little bit to get a bit of extra pressure. So lifting your right hip off the ground. And do your wiggles. Okay, so next move, find your hip bone, right? Bony bit, just beneath it. We want to be a couple, just maybe two centimetres below that hip bone. And really getting some pressure down by lifting your right bum cheek. And then bending through the knee. Ooh. If you want the book, find a book. It doesn't have to be as thick as the book that I used. Okay, from that spot, just want you to move out to the side about 2 centimetres. Alright, and do the same release. And just see what you feel out there. Okay, let's just sit up. Have a bit of a rest and a wiggle in the legs. Okay, so we're going to put it onto the other side now. So working through the other hip, I'm going to go into a right hip. Starting right at the bottom and slowly graduating up. So that took us nearly 20 minutes to go through one side. Okay, it took us about 15 minutes to go through one side. So that's how slow we can progress what we're doing and how much help that's going to give. So before we get up and have another squat, let's do the other hip. Okay, so I might just spin around actually. You guys start please on the right side. Alright, starting right down near the knee, a couple of centimetres above the kneecap and just to the inside line of your muscle. Alright, and then flexing the knee. So using your hamstring to pull up. Really trying to relax when you straighten that leg. Have a bit of a wiggle, a bit of a movement up and down. If you've got some sharp bits, hang out on that sharp bit for a while. Let it calm down. Okay, small movement. Down with the body or up with the point. So getting a couple of centimetres higher. Just relaxing to start. Just make sure you stay relaxed through your whole body. Try and enjoy that sort of that pain, that pleasure, tension release. And get our movement going. On some spots you might find that you prefer giving that massage, that movement, and some you might prefer doing the big movement up and down. You've got to do a bit of both, but do whichever one you feel you get more benefit of. Do that a little bit more often. And it might change a little bit from point to point from where you are. Alright, let's move again. So I'm about a bit over 10 centimetres above the knee now. And I can certainly feel some tension coming on. And we want to find the middle of the quad and then just slightly inside that, so we're between sort of the VMO and the main quad branch. Getting that slow release through. Your wiggles, knee flexion. Certainly my right seems a hell of a lot worse than my left. Okay, let's move again. I'm going to move the point up because I'm running out of room behind me. So just a centimetre, a couple of centimetres. Get used to that pressure and start bending up through. It's really important we don't race or release like this. We are working on something that's a really long line of tissue. It carries substantial weight and really supports our body a lot, so caring for it, giving back to it is really, really key. Alright, let's move again. Couple of centimetres, find that spot, find the line. Now really try and let that leg straighten and relax. If you keep holding it on a tension, it doesn't quite let the muscle in, the point in as far. If you can really get that foot down to the ground, relax your back, relax your glute, you're really going to penetrate a little bit deeper and get more benefit. Wow. Alright, let's move again. Couple of centimetres, don't race it.
we're relaxing first. And getting our movement when we can. Wiggles. If you need to start lifting that left hip, left bum, get a little bit more pressure, you can do that. Oh, straight away it is a lot more intense. Then we can move again. So we should be getting up towards the middle of the quad now, about halfway between knee and hip. And just make sure I just slip to the outside, stay slightly on the inside of the middle line of your quad. As we're going through, make sure you're aware of staying relaxed in your back. If you're continually holding yourself up and bracing, you're just going to make yourself tight through QLs. Let's try and stay as relaxed as you can, even whilst you're putting up with the pain of the muscle release. And wiggle. And we can move. Keep just thinking about how good it's going to feel afterwards, even though it probably doesn't feel very good now. Whoa. And we can move. We're going to make sure you let it penetrate deep. Let it wiggle its way between the bands of tissue, because we're off to the middle side of your quad. Making sure we're relaxed through your back, not holding tension. And another movement. So probably about 10 centimetres or so below the hip, so we're getting close. pressure right. Oh. Coming up onto your elbows makes a little bit of a stronger stretch when you're pulling up with that heel. And you get a better relaxation when we're down here. And we're lifting the bum if you need more pressure. Lifting the opposite side bum cheek. And we can move up. I apologise for the phone call, I'm just going to stop that. Keep going. Okay, I'm going to find the next spot up. So I'm about 5 centimetres below my hip now. Remember, if you need the more pressure, you can grab the book so you can raise up the point a little bit higher. And you can also roll onto it a little bit, or whatever you need to do to make sure you're getting the strongest release that you want. It's not about what's strong for me, it's about what's strong for you. And lift a bit higher. It can be getting quite sharp now, it is for me. It's sort of like a bit of a stabby pain. Rolling over onto it a bit stronger, so lifting up the left bum cheek. Oh, mama. Okay, let's go up, right up just beneath the hip bone. 1 or 2 centimetres beneath. Last one before we take a break. And this is pretty sharp for mine. Grab the book if you need to. Rolling onto it a little bit more. Okay. Now, well done. So what I'd like you to do is to stand up and have a couple of squats. We're not finished though. We're going to do a little bit higher release, so we're going to go above your hip bone, into your hip flexor, a little bit deep into your tummy. So we'll need a book to make this one a little bit higher. So whilst you stand up and go and do a couple of squats,
and do that leaning back. Please do that, see how you feel through your knees, see how you feel through your back, and how deep you feel you can squat and maintain good form and control. But also grab something maybe 1 to 2 centimeters high. Mine's probably a bit high, I think that's like 2.5 centimeters. But grab something and then we'll start again in about 20 seconds. So we're up for a couple of squats. And it's just for me anyway, feels really simple and easy to be low. No pressure through my back. Alright, my knees feel like they're gliding, which is a really nice feeling. Okay, so let's have your book. Probably not as thick as this one. Alright, we're going to go back and start on our left side. So what we're after now is we have hip bone. We're going to come up just to the inside of hip bone in around here. Alright, so let's get that spot. So lying down on our front. Try without the book first, so hip bone just above and just to the inside. Lying down. And see if you feel that you get a bit of muscle pressure or something there. We can still do those movements with the heel. The other way to get a bit more pressure is up onto your tummy, and that gives a pretty good release for me. Right, and then I can just roll onto that side a little bit, so shift my weight onto my left elbow. And that's a pretty good release. If you want to give it a go with the book, you can do that. So let's grab the book. Underneath. Just above that hip bone. Alright, and now I really feel that I'm getting somewhere. Again, if you want to try elbows. It's amazing how far we are from our knee, but all this tissue, this line of tissue really does connect down all the way down there and can cause significant discomfort, especially through your patellar tendon. And we're on the other side to the back, obviously, but this can really release your back beautifully and increase your mobility. Don't forget your wiggles. Okay, and let's change sides to the right side. Oh, that feels fantastic. Okay, so start without your book. Remember the hip bone just above, just to the inside. It's not uncommon to have some pretty different tension from side to side, especially if you're a one-arm dominant sport like volleyball or tennis or something like that. Or if you have a leg length difference. And the elbows for a little more pressure. And a little wiggle.
feels a bit grainy, a bit bitty, this means you're in the right area. Okay, I'm going to give it a go with the book. Just above that hip bone. And trying to relax down onto it, let it penetrate. And then get our same movements. Elbows if you like. Okay, and let's come off that. Now, just before we pop up and have another squat, just another way that you can release through this line, alright, is to sit straight. You can lean back on the couch or something, but just using the point as a massage. And you can really pinpoint spots a bit easier. So if you found there was a line or a spot that had some extra tension for you, you can spend some time working through that. Alright? And really do, work through it for a while, change your angles and get in there, because you can really pinpoint some things. And you also have the ability to just control the power a little bit more. Right? Let's jump up. Let's do a couple of squats. Let's do a lean back. Gee, my knees have even stopped clicking now. Alright, if I even do my lean, alright, I know, for me anyway, I don't feel any strong pain or tension or pull through my back. Hopefully that's released a little bit through your knees, through your back. That's going to be us. We're 45 minutes in. Thank you very much for tuning in. If it's helped you, please drop us a comment on the Facebook page. And yeah, happy pointing. Next week we're going to move to a Saturday session at 10 AM. It's going to be a weekly session from then on. Thanks very much for tuning in. Happy pointing.